Hey guys, Mathel here once again with one more quick follow-up on the Burning Arrow. Wasn't sure if I should make a video on this, but I feel like there should be a small wrap-up still. And in closing, Burning Arrow, kinda meh. So I did give it a shot as much as I possibly could. I then went into a full Assaulium playstyle. So as I showed, it's a hat that essentially turns your damage over time style attack into just a big channel, and the gameplay just ended up turning into full-blown Scourge Arrow, but worse. So it might have better output just because of damage and stuff, but the playstyle is just like less nice than a Scourge Arrow because you're only firing off these piddly little projectiles, and for single target you've got one or two arrows that need to connect, and it takes a long time to wind up because the attack speed multiplier on Burning Arrow is terrible. So as you can see, basically even for mapping and clearing, I'm also using Assaulium, which might seem bad. You know, you don't really want to channel for your clear, and you'd rather just run around right-clicking with Burning Arrow, but ultimately it basically made no difference. So since Burning Arrow's attack speed was basically just so slow by itself, even a 1 or 2 stack of Assaulium, just the Snipe channel thing is like feels about the same gameplay wise, but it does more damage. So I was just rolling with it so that my burn prolif could do a bit more of everything. So in the end, yeah, it was a full Assaulium playstyle both for clear and for single target. And for clear, like, look, you can get by, it feels okay, it's still a burn prolif sort of thing, and you know, leveling and tier 16s and all that seemed okay. But for what you put in, you're not really getting out as much, I don't think. I'm sure like just a prolif fireball build or some shit, way more basic, would feel a bit better to play and have just less that you've got to fix in it, because Burning Arrow is the way it's been like pushed, or the direction it's been pushed into. It's essentially a fireball that you've also got to fix attack speed and accuracy on, and then gear out a bit harder. So it's just a bit weird. I'm not really sure what's supposed to happen to it. I mean, obviously there's some imbalance with some skills out there, and this is one of the ones that's been a bit left behind on the wayside, because I think you can like move heaven and earth and maybe get Burning Arrow to a few million DPS. I think if I was going to go about it again, I'd do an Elementalist with maybe Eternity Shroud scaling once again. I've done that once before, but I think there's higher potential now. Regardless, you're moving like heaven and earth, and it really caps out hard at some point. And there's not much else you can do about it except for put an Assaulium on. And essentially, I think Burning Arrow and Puncture, like they're just balanced right now around having an Assaulium in the game, and that sucks, because if you don't want to play Assaulium, then bad luck. You kind of have to, and it changes your playstyle and your skill to be not really what you signed up for to begin with. So that's kind of dumb. But yeah, you can see the single target can be okay. With Assaulium, it ends up just being a full Snipe Assaulium playstyle, which means you need to find your windows of opportunity to channel your skill and try and get it to 6 stacks. Getting it to 6 stacks takes a while. With the attack speed that I've currently got, and I've actually tried to get some attack speed in the build, so it's not 0, and my bow isn't that slow either, yet it still feels kind of shitty, and as well as that, I'm running life tap on the Snipe, which is like not a very good link, but managing mana is pretty not fun with Snipe as well, and I didn't go out of my way to fix mana to begin with, so maybe I could have done that, and then I would have had an extra like 10% damage if I wasn't using life tap. But either way, I had something like 4 or 5 million ignite DPS at 6 stacks. The problem being, getting to those 6 stacks is really tough unless you are fighting a mob one-on-one and you have a good read on its abilities. So anytime I was doing like Guardians and then to face 2 of them at a time, or an invitation, started to get 3 or 4, it was really tough to get your damage in, as well as, you know, actually get good damage in. So I could get like 1 or 2 stacks, I could throw out a Vile Burning Arrow, but to get your 4, 5 or 6 stacks of Snipe, it's tough to find those windows of opportunity. So as I said, on a boss that's just like one-on-one, so regular endgame content we can do, and it's not too bad. This is just a Maven, non-Uber, and you can find plenty of opportunities to stand still and get your attacks in. You'll be able to do that on all normal endgame until you start to get overwhelmed. So something like a Feared is going to be an absolute nightmare, and then Ubers are going to be absolute nightmares because they move around a lot, they fire off attacks very quickly, and there's not much time for you to do whatever the fuck you want. So yeah, I don't know, Burning Arrow, kind of dumb. You can still do it if you want to have a go, maybe make an Elementalist for a bigger result, but this one. Didn't cost too much, played okay, but honestly, ran out of scaling, felt a bit bad that I was still doing it. Played it for as long as I could, and time to move on to the next build. So I hope you guys enjoyed the little wrap up. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.